undefeated team. It can all end right here. Hasn't been an undefeated team since 1976. Indiana. Oh, Christ, to hold on to it.
Robertson.
He scores. Oh, he scores. It's 4 seconds. Timeout. Right. They got to put 2 seconds back on the clock, Dick.
Let's welcome him in, Charles Ballentine. You're hearing the highlight of when Arkansas beat North Carolina. Pine Bluff, way back when. I know that's probably one of the most treasured games in Charles's career. Charles, thank you so much for joining us, and I do want to talk some football with you because I know that's kind of where we first conversed. But this basketball team, you know what it takes to beat a number 1 team in the country. This team's already done that when Auburn came into Bud Walton Arena. What is it going to take tomorrow night to dethrone what many believe is the best team in college basketball?
You know, guys, thank y'all for inviting me. Thank y'all for having me. And hello, Razorback Nation. Man, that brings chills every time I hear that. Alba grab. And then I hear about when we ridicule them afterwards. You know, I got to tell you, this team that we have saw this past year has done an outstanding job of making adjustments when we needed to make adjustments, going forward to this game. You know, I can bring this up. It's got to be somebody who's going to step up on that team, and somebody that unexpectedly does something that the other team didn't figure into their game plan. Take our game, North Carolina. I got to be honest with you. If it wasn't from Darrell Bedford, I get a lot of credit because I hit the last shot, and we got a lot of games in there, and a lot of people did a lot of things, but people forget that Darrell Bedford came off the bench and hit 12 points, and late years later, everybody goes, "Where did this guy come from?" You're going to need one of those guys to step up, including your game plan. So you got to have that unsung hero to help out there. But I'm confident these guys will compete and come play.
Charles, you heard in our open Mike Irwin talking with Nolan Richardson, and no one thinks they're going to win tomorrow night, and you seem to have a confidence that they're going to compete. What has led you to that point that this team is not going to get run out of the gym? What are you specifically looking towards, especially in these last games, that leads you to believe that not only they compete, but they can beat Gonzaga tomorrow night?
Well, there's 2 things. Let me share, because I remember the first game this year when we played, and I went to the first red-white game. I said, "Oh my God, we got some adjustments to do." And true Coach Musselman fashion and his staff give that crew a lot of credit, and also some of the players too. They realize that our mix is not right, and that mix change got these guys on a streak that's unbelievable that we hadn't saw in a long time. And Coach Richardson's right. I totally believe that if we make all those adjustments, and I'm sure Coach Musselman now got plenty of time to really deep dive into this team that he's playing against, they will come and play, and there's no reason why they can't take this team out. Now it'd be a little, we had a lot of fans on our side when we played Auburn, which is always a big, that 6th man is also very important. Gonzaga would have that. But I would tell you, this is going to be a will at the end. I don't see a blowout in this game. If I do, I'm very surprised. But it's going to be a nick and tuck all the way.
Charles, you played for a coach that demanded that you play defense. If you didn't play defense, you weren't going to play. That's a common denominator between Eddie Sutton and what we see with Eric Musselman. Take us back to your days and the preparation and the demand that Coach Sutton had for your teams on the defensive end of the floor, and draw some similarities and tell us what you see maybe that is some common denominators between what we've seen the last couple of years and this team with the Razorbacks now.
Yes, I tell you, Coach Sutton, he demanded so much he wrote it on the back of our shorts when we played in the practice. But I would tell you, it's the help defense. Coach always prepared the other 4 guys to help one person out if some type of breakdown. And if you help, that rotation is always there. If someone got past either myself, Joe, or Al, anybody, someone was standing there to help out. I see that in Coach Musselman, that defense preparation. I mean, that help defense is there. You think, I got an opening. The other team may say, I see a guy opening. All of a sudden, here come a hand or a finger or a body just standing there. Say, nope, not today. You're going to get there. And I see that in this game. The defense intensity level is unbelievable. But I would tell you, and it's getting better. And again, back then, the athletes that we had back then, we thought we were pretty good. These guys here, boy, they blow us off the court. They're so fast and quick and agile compared to what we had. It's just unbelievable. When
you watch the game today with the restricted area and the arc underneath the basket, and now the 3-point line's been around a while, but it was just coming into the game towards the end of your college career. How do you view the game and the changes that have been instilled between your playing days and now, and particularly with the area underneath the basket and how the rim's defended today?
It is those adjustments that speeded up the game, and it was always talked about during the Southwest Conference. It never was an infant. I think it was an infant in the Southeast or ACC. They were doing it, but Coach Sutton was always preparing for that part if it ever came down. We did play a couple of ACC games and SEC teams, and I guess our quickness on defense always helped out. But that preparation of moving around that end, if you notice. We practiced about maybe an hour and a half just doing nothing but defensive drills. The charges, I'm so happy to see someone taking charges like Kayla. Yeah. I'll be honest with you, because my last 2 years I played, I led the team in charges, and my body felt it too years later. But you take that charge for the team. But those adjustments, I'll tell you, made a difference. We experienced some of that when we played overseas in the World Games for Arkansas when we represented the United States. And they were already in that mode. So we had to adjust every now and then. But now it's just, you can see the speed and difference in the game and also with the players.
You bring up taking charges. We had your old teammate and great Razorback Joe Klein on, and he told a story about a Coach Sutton practice. Maybe you remember it, that he'd come back from the Olympic Games, and Coach Sutton kind of had the impression that Joe thought he was hot stuff, so he had a drill where Joe was going to take a charge from everybody. Do you remember that practice and maybe the details of that?
God, man, I can tell you. Look, you know what I'm saying? When Coach thought one person was out of line, everybody paid for it. I got to tell you. And it just, I can still hear those grunts and uts and hit it and go through it. And he'll line us up. And if we don't do it, it's drill time. Oh my God. Yes, I remember that. I felt so bad for my big boy. I said, oh my God, we in trouble now, man. And so we all tried to help out, but it wasn't right. We just took drills like that all the time.
I remember him saying, I thought it was over. He lined everybody up and they ran over me, and he said, nope, now we're going to go from the left side.
Yes. And think about us. We the one hitting it. Joe wasn't a small guy then. We were hitting it.
Yeah, run into this brick wall here. Yeah. That's toughness, though, Tye. That's how you create toughness, Tye.
That is correct.
This is we're talking with Charles Ballentine here on the Morning Rush. Now, Charles, you and I first met sitting at the Mississippi State football game. Most of the time, I'll sit in the press box the first half and then go sit with the fans or a buddy in the second half and sit next to my buddies Matt and Andrew, who are friends with you, and the Callaways. And one of the things I remember specifically discussing with you, and I'm looking at the schedule just to confirm, Arkansas had beaten East Central by 3 and North Texas by 8. And I wanted your kind of thoughts because you played and you've got a great knowledge of basketball. It's like, what's the deal with this team? And I remember you specifically telling me, I think they're going to figure it out. They've just got to work through some stuff. When you look at our conversation back on November 6th, based on where we are now sitting one game from an Elite Eight, did you think, and be honest, did you think this team was going to get to this point?
No, after those first couple of games, I was like, no. With that structure in the early part of the year, there were some pieces that were missing, and I was worried. I was, oh my God, this ain't the same team that we all kind of expected that went and made that big run. And I was like, ooh, this is going to take a little bit. And again, I go back to Coach Musselman and his team, and they recognized it too, just like everybody else did. And he changed. He made some adjustments. Like anything you do. If you want to make it go forward, you have to make those changes. And trust me, it's a tough call. I remember those tough calls when I played, and you have to say, okay, what is best for the team? And they did that. And it took a little bit, some grinding, some finding the right pieces back and forth in there, and he found it. And that right niche turned it. And then when I started seeing them going on this run, I said, okay, they got a chance. And it just kept going. And I was like, okay, they really got a chance. They really made adjustment going forward. But I would tell you, I was worried just like everybody else. how far they'll continue to go. But it's amazing. Think about that. The time we sit down and talk, Ty, we got kicked out of the top 10, got kicked out of the top 25. Even the nation was like, well, these guys are done. But just think about how they turned that thing around by the middle of January, and now look at us. We're the only team in the SEC still playing. That's unbelievable.
Charles, I'll tell you what else has turned it around is that football team. And sitting there watching, it was great because we were in the end zone where that Mississippi State kicker missed, his third field goal of the day. And I know you, I, and everyone else is going nuts in that back of the end zone. That we had a great home schedule this year with beating Mississippi State, beating Texas. But I know you're a season ticket holder. You've been for a long time. Man, how excited are you for Cincinnati, Liberty, Ole Miss, Alabama, LSU? They're all coming to Fayetteville. Clay said this is the best home schedule in the history of the football program. I mean, I'd say your investment on season tickets, this might be the best one yet.
Oh, man. Let me tell you this little history. For most people who don't know, I used to work when I was with, in the Walmart and also the Pilot Flying J days. I had the Southeast, Alabama, Georgia, Alabama, Florida, all that group, and Arkansas came. So I got a bunch of friends that still live down there that I text every now and then just to say hi after we beat them. You know what I mean? So it's one of those schedules that I'm glad to be back. And you look at it and go like, my God, I could not believe how well we turned that thing again. It's our coaching staff. I thought, everybody's done a great job of looking and see where we are as a university, where we need to be as a university. And I go back and say this when I make the reference to my Raiders, when the Raiders are winning, the NFL looks good. When the Razorbacks are winning, the SEC is great. Period.
It's all a matter of perspective. So what, in your mind, are a few of the keys for Arkansas to beat another number one this year, to take down the number one overall seed? What has to go right, particularly early in this ballgame? Because we were talking earlier, Charles, Arkansas fell behind to Baylor last year and had to climb out and couldn't get there. To me, that first 8 minutes or so of the ballgame is critical for Arkansas to hang in there at the end. What are you watching for in the first 8 or 10 minutes of the game tomorrow?
Again, I'm not a basketball coach or anything of that nature. I'm just a big fan and understand the game a little bit more. First, let's get off to a good start. Let's really set our tone. We set our tempo. We play our style. That's the big thing. Play your style, okay? And then the thing that I like to see, we're going to hit free throws, okay? The one thing that worries me the most is our non-scoring droughts. When we don't score in that 1 to 5 minutes, it's just too long. Cut that down to anywhere between less than 1 minute or 2 minutes. Do something to don't let it go so long, because that can hurt us at the end. Thank God we got a great free throw shooting team, but we got to get some shots in that last few minutes of the closing time that just put me on the edge of, God, we got to score, because if you don't, the other team will recognize that, and we just turn it over to the time frame. Like every coach, get your turnovers down less than 10, okay, and get them up past 10, and converts to those points. So if we do all above and just put that in, hey, we should take this game. But again, I'm not coaching it. Follow what the coach's plan is.
Charles, thank you so much for taking some time out of your morning to join us. That was great. We talked basketball, we talked football, we talked all things with you. It's good to go back down memory lane, talking the Joe Klein practice as well. And I'm glad they'll try to at least take it easy on him during that charging drill.
No, it's not. Well, I love you guys, man. Appreciate you guys having me on. Go Hogs, and let's cheer them on, guys.
All right. The great Charles Ballentine with us here on the Morning Run.
It's that time of year as college basketball takes center stage with the tournament finally upon us. If you're looking to wager this year, BetOnline is the #1 spot for all your updated odds and info, along with great contests, including the bracket contest, where you can have a chance to take home the top prize. Head over to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use our promo code BELIEVE to get started. That's BLEAV. BetOnline is your continued source for all your sports wagering needs, including live betting and your favorite Vegas casino games. BetOnline, where the game starts.